This year was heavy. It was a year of surviving, not thriving. Winter is when I pause and reflect on where I'm at. I don't rush into goals. I slow down, reset my systems, and give myself space to recharge before the next season. If you've been here for a while, you probably know that this past year has been a lot for me. Both of my grandparents passed away, and then very unexpectedly, my cat passed away as well. I also started a brand new job this year after being unemployed for a whole year, and I had to go back into the office on a hybrid schedule after being remote for 5 years. This meant adjusting to a new schedule, commuting, and finding a rhythm to fit my new life. So with all of these things happening at the same time, this year was definitely not a thrive year for me because every day I was just trying to get through one day to the next and survive. So every December when winter rolls around, I go into hibernation mode. So I intentionally slow down, reflect, relax, spend a lot of time deep in my thoughts thinking about this past year and thinking about how I felt over the last couple years and what I really want out of my life. And I do this from December to February. So in this video, I want to share with you part of my hibernation, my winter reset, and how I do my life audit. So today's task, the main task, because we're going to be doing a little bit of everything today, is I want to start making my New Year's gifts for friends, neighbors, family, etc. So the first thing I'm going to start with is making homemade pâtes de fruits. It's French. I don't speak French, so I'm just doing my best, but basically it's fruit gummies. So I'm going to make those first. And then later tonight, I'm going to make tiramisu fudge, but I forgot to add mascarpone cheese to the grocery list, so Kevin has to get that later. He's out running around right now, so I might not be able to make that until this evening. So in the meantime, I'm going to make white cheddar spritz crackers after I get the fruit gummies done, because they're pretty easy. You just heat them up on the stove, and then they have to sit overnight. The same thing with the fudge. It's relatively like you make it, you pour it, it sits, and then it's done. So I'm going to try to get all three of those done today. Okay, so the fruit gummies have to cure overnight uncovered for 24 to 36 hours. I just drape parchment paper over them so cat hair or any dust flying in the air didn't get on them, but this is what it looks like. This is orange. I did orange and cranberry, and it's already setting up. This is still warm. So this one's a cranberry, but it doesn't look like it's completely set up yet, which is interesting because this is the one I did first. Bit of a change of plans. It is now 6 o'clock, and after I made my fruit gummies, I was gonna make the crackers. But the mixer was broken, there's something wrong with it, and it wasn't mixing correctly, so I tried to fix it, and then the dough got crumbly because the fat wasn't emulsifying correctly, and then I tried to add more fat to fix it, and that didn't work. So basically, I messed around with this dough for 2 hours, and I ended up throwing it in the freezer to see if I could save the fat the way it is and pull it out tomorrow and maybe somehow make crackers with it. Fingers crossed that tomorrow it works. Otherwise, I just wasted a ton of money on cheese and flours and butter. And it was Kerrygold butter, too, so it was like 2 sticks. That's like $5 just worth of butter right there. So I had a little moment where I had a meltdown because these are New Year's gifts, and it's just, I don't know, it's just one of those things. But now I'm going to calm down, and I'm going to heat up leftover pizza that we made on Christmas Eve. We made really, really good pizza. I will show you when I pull it out. And then I think I'm going to play The Sims because I think I need to do something fun instead of trying to do task and getting everything done. I need to do something that I'm going to enjoy, that's going to give me, I don't know, stress relief, something. So that's my plan. So today we focused on a project. We had a bookshelf project we need to finish. I wanted a bookshelf for years, but I could never find anything that was brand new, that had good quality wood, or that fit into the little space in the corner of our living room. So Kevin found a bookshelf that someone was giving away for free. He cut it down. He had extra pieces of nice oak trim laying around at his parents' house. So he sanded it, restained it, ran it through something that rounded the edges and made it look really, really pretty. I don't know exactly what he did.
Get one nail on.
Where?
Close
Here?
it. Yeah, sure.
Oh God, I'm afraid.
Go. There we go. Oh, good.
I'm more of the design, artistic brains behind it, and then he just executes it because he knows how to do all the woodworking stuff. But anyway, the inspiration for this is something I found on Pinterest, so this wasn't my original idea. I had peel and stick wallpaper that I purchased from Amazon with these mystical, mythological creatures on it, which I thought would be perfect for a bookshelf because I like to read about history and fantasy. So we put that on, glued everything, got it all together, and this is the final product, and I love it. I'm obsessed with it. I'm so happy that I finally have a bookshelf. Good morning, everybody. It is 7:30. I woke up about 45 minutes ago. I'm feeling very tired today, so I am going to make coffee. And before I get a shower and get ready for the day, I wanted to clean. I need to do the dishes because, as you can see, the dishes are piling up. And I need to take care of this. And I need to clean the bathroom. I normally clean the bathroom on Sundays, but since I was going to try to finish the baking yesterday, I just woke up, got a shower, and was gonna get ready to bake, and then I didn't. Because if I'm being honest, I had a bit of a breakdown yesterday. The candies that I made, the gummies, didn't set up even though I followed the directions. So then without the mixer and without the gummies, I was just like, this is just too much. And decided that I was going to call it quits because everything kept breaking and nothing was working. And I was like, okay, this is not worth the stress and the headache. And right now, with everything that's happened this past year and all the stress and the burnout I'm feeling from work and things going on in my personal life, and just the amount of loss that I had this year, everything's just making me upset. So every little thing that goes wrong is triggering a major anxiety attack, or I just start crying. Like, I think I cried 3 times yesterday because I was just getting so upset and irritated and frustrated. And the way that I like to describe it to people is that you have a cup of water. And every time something goes wrong, or every time something upsets you, or every time something is negative, that cup gets filled up a little bit more. But all year long, I have felt like my cup is full, but the water keeps pouring. And so when the water keeps pouring and there's no stop, that means that every little single thing, just like the tiniest little thing, puts you over the edge. It upsets you. It causes anxiety. You have the chest pains. It feels like someone's taking my chest and squeezing and ripping. And that's what every little thing has been feeling like lately. And I realize that as much as I want to make nice little things for people that aren't expecting it, we're not gift exchanging or anything like that, so it's not like I'm not giving something back to somebody. It's just I need to take care of me first. And as much as I want to do something nice, I did try. I tried twice and the odds were against me, and me trying was just putting me over the edge. So I realized that instead of focusing on giving out, that I need to pause and I need to focus on getting me right first and putting me first instead of trying to make nice things for everybody else. So I got to do what's nice for me before I can do things that are nice for others. And I don't think that's selfish. I think that's realistic. I think that's healthy. I think that's being self-aware and knowing what you need in the moment, and that sometimes you can't give everything you want to other people because you gotta fix yourself first. So that's a little chat. That's just a little motivational discussion about my mental health and how I'm feeling right now at the end of 2025 at 7:30 in the morning before I even had coffee. So I'm going to make my coffee, I'm going to start cleaning, and I will talk to you later. Hey friends, just checking in. It is the same day, but I got all my cleaning done for today, and I got a shower, and I had brunch. So now I'm gonna dive into my life audit. My life audit is my end of the year reflection, and I take a whole quarter to do this. I do have 2 videos, one that's like a high level of my audit and all the steps, and the second video, which I posted about a month or so ago, is like the first part of it where you do the reflection, and that's really the part that takes the longest time. And this year I decided that I want to start moving all of my standard like procedures into a project management system. I was so inspired from taking project management courses this year like Safe Agile and Lean Six Sigma that I want to take that and redesign my whole life, have standard operating procedures for everything, have steps for everything that I do consistently, 5S everything, and the life audit is one of them. So I wrote a formal standard operating procedure of each step, and I put that into a project management application called ClickUp, which is free, by the way. So I have the document there, and then I have it as a project where I can see everything as a list. So I can see everything that's not started, what's in progress, and what's completed. So for phase 1, there's multiple subtasks, and the same with phase 2, phase 3, 4, 5. I created the document in Microsoft Word, but then I uploaded it to ClickUp. So it's in here. You can also switch this over to a board, a progress, Gantt chart, list, or a calendar. So far, I'm really liking ClickUp. I have a lot of work to do to get all of my processes within this system and set everything up and just get everything organized, but this is one of the first things that I put through there. More to come probably on this application and how I feel about using it, but I already started some of the reflections. So the first step is to like gather all your receipts, your journals, your camera roll, grab all your creative outputs like YouTube, Substack, Instagram, anywhere that you might create stuff about your life, your journals, morning pages, goal planners, etc. So I've already done that for my YouTube videos, and I have my notebook out, and I'm going to pull out some of my goal planners and just go through everything and kind of take notes and start looking for patterns. Technically, that should all be done by the end of December, which is in 3 days. So kind of running out of time, but that's not a big deal because I've never put a deadline on it before. And now that I'm putting this into more of a formal process and writing everything down and documenting how I do it every year, it is going to have deadlines. I'm going to treat it more as a project than just something that I kind of do and then add things to and subtracted things to in the past, because now I'm getting a process that has been working the past couple years. So I really want to fine tune that process. And then I'm sharing it with you in my videos. So that's the goal for the afternoon. And then I think I'm going to do some meal prep later. So I'm going to dive into this and I will talk to you later. Okay, so while I'm waiting for my dinner to cook, I thought I would come over to the new bookshelf and reorganize the books. I put everything in there yesterday with Kevin because we wanted to see how many we can make fit. However, I want to alphabetize them. So let me flip the camera around. It's kind of hard to see with this light on, but there's little acorn lights. So this is like the fantasy, creepy, mystery, witchy section, and this one's already done. And then up top, this is all of my Tudor books. I already put the Philippa Gregory Tudor Plantagenet books in order, but I didn't finish this row necessarily. And some of these are fiction and some of them are nonfiction, so I need to fix this row. And then I have classics here, which I already put in alphabetical order, I think. Yes. And then this is classics on this shelf, but I'm not putting them in alphabetical order because this shelf is really small. So it's just gonna stay like this. And then this shelf is historical fiction. And these are definitely not in alphabetical order. And then the bottom shelf is nonfiction, which is separated by types of nonfiction. So this side is historical nonfiction, and then we have like kind of random nonfiction, and then we have the, I guess you could say, self-improvement, productivity, just, I don't know, just random nonfiction over here, and those are definitely not in alphabetical order. So I think I'm gonna finish the Tudor bookshelf first. I completed going through all of my receipts and my data and started looking at patterns, and I found quite a few, and some of them I already knew about because I like to say that I'm a pretty self-aware person, so a lot of them I knew about, but it's good to see the concrete evidence to support the patterns that I just assumed were there, like in my head. And a lot of those things are things that I'm looking to correct or solve for 2026. So it was good to review, and I do want to just look through everything again, just with like a clear headspace this morning, because I was very tired yesterday. I did a lot yesterday. So at the end of the night, everything was kind of just like blurring together. But this morning, I am going to go look through my new Power Sheets Goal Planner. I love this color. This is the 2026. I have not had a green yet, so I'm really excited to have this one. And I'm going to open it. The inside this year looks like this. Really cute. And it comes with word of the year, what matters most, 2026 season. So this is holidays. National S'mores Day on August 10th. What? That's cool. I didn't know that was on here. That's really interesting that's on here because there's a lot of holidays like Valentine's Day, President's Day, Ramadan, Lunar New Year, Mardi Gras. S'mores Day is very, very random. And then National Watermelon Day on August 3rd. Interesting. And then it has stickers, which I never end up using. This Cultivate a Year belongs to Rachel. So we'll fill in my name. This is my favorite part of doing this every year, is the reflection part, which is why I ended up doing way more than what's in Power Sheets with my life audit. Sorry, that was Kevin texting me. So the life audit that I do, that I talk about on my channel and I have a video on, a lot of the inspiration from that came from here because I needed a better way to review and go deeper into being self-aware and seeing the patterns and seeing what's happening and how I feel. And I'm still working towards getting that into a consistent cycle. This year was really hard because I didn't have a lot of time to focus on looking at it like I did last year, just because everything was so crazy. It's, you know, I don't have to say this. It's the same thing I say every time. This year has been rough. So I'm still working on it. I'm still finding ways to schedule time to do my life audit and kind of just perfecting the process. But I am going to move into the power sheets and do some of the stuff here. Like it says brainstorm. I'll actually just show you. So this is brainstorm your year ahead. I already did this in my other journal, so I'm not going to do it here. This is the same as last year. They've had this every year that I've done it. What fires you up? Good things. This is pretty much the same every year. And this is what I really want to do. I need to evaluate this. This is what I call the wheel of life in my life audit. So if you get the Power Sheets goal planner, a lot of goal planners had this. And I think last year I didn't do Power Sheets. No, this year I did Power Sheets, but in 2024 I did something else. Let me get it out. So this is the difference. The nice thing about the Power Sheets is that you can write it down so that way you know why you gave the rating for each category. Because if you look like that, like this is probably not enough space for me to write my why. So that's just kind of a comparison to what it can look like on two different goal planners. And you might not even have these goal planners or use a goal planner at all. You're just going to do everything in a notebook or something. But I just wanted to show you what that section could look like. That being said, I'm going to get started on filling all of this out, and then I will chat with you later. Hello. So it is 5:06. I just completely got done with phase 1 of my life audit. I looked at so many goal planners, really thought about stuff, answered a lot of questions, and went really, really deep, probably more so than I have ever done before. And I think the reason that I did that is because this past year has just been so hard and really has made me rethink a lot of things. There's something about losing two people that you love that have been in your life the whole time, even though like it was their time, they lived a long, fulfilling life. And then making the decision about your cat because she's sick and dealing with all of that really makes you rethink what's important, what is not important, what is the meaning in life, what's your purpose. It just makes you question things. On top of like those losses, I've had friendships end this year because they were growing apart, and I've experienced a lot of growth, and I'm really happy about some of the big wins that I have this year, which I'm going to talk about later at the end of the video, just like highlight a couple things. That still doesn't mean that there hasn't been like a lot of loss and a lot of burnout and a lot of not so great things that happened. So I really took a lot of time to reflect on that and just like scratch past the surface level of what those things actually meant. And I'll just give you an example because you know I love to give you examples about everything when it comes to my life audit because I think it makes it easier. So there are certain things that I'm not going to share because they're kind of personal. But for example, there is this section of the power sheets that say to make decisions what I want more of, what I want less of. So the examples that they have in this book are more morning bike rides, candles at dinner, cheering others on, less buying stuff I don't need, rushing others, believing I'm not enough. I think that's super surface level. I don't really think that's not deep enough for me. So I wrote, I want more of boundaries against energy drainers and toxic situations, removing myself from toxic situations without hesitation or guilt, creating outside of my brand, nights and weekends filled with reading and learning, calmness and free time to do things for joy and pleasure, functional systems and processes, walking and getting steps. So some of them are a little surface level, but then I want less of situations that no longer serve who I'm becoming, being stuck at my desk to get work done, scrolling because I'm too tired to do anything else, multitasking, stress and anxiety. But it's definitely gotten deeper over the last couple years because I've just learned to immediately remove things that really don't matter from my life at all, which is good. So that's a sign of progress. So I like that. But I feel like the last 2 days, I've got a lot done. I've really spent a lot of time being alone and thinking and reflecting and kind of like ignoring everybody because I needed to. Like, I needed that space to think and reflect and look at what brought me joy and look at what didn't, and just to have that moment to pause. I said earlier this video that like the first couple days of my break from work I had emotional breakdowns and I was crying, and I think the reason that I had that the first couple days is because it's the first time in months that I've had the space to actually feel my emotions because everything was so busy, so many projects, so many responsibilities, so many things going on, so many events, Thanksgiving, birthday parties, work events, whatever, that I just had to push it down. And then once I was in an environment where I didn't have to work, I didn't have to do anything, I was on my own time, I had full reign of my autonomy and my schedule, I just let it all out. So I think that's what happened. And it's probably a good thing that I made space to feel all those emotions and think. And even though it sucked that I was crying hysterically for a couple days here and there, it was probably a good thing. I needed to feel it. I needed to get that out. I needed to get my anger out. I needed to feel those emotions, which is good. That being said, I'm drained. My throat hurts from talking so much because I was dictating a lot of my thoughts and my reflections in real time because I can speak faster than I can type. And there was just so much coming out of my mouth and my head. And Kevin's calling me because he's going to get our groceries, so I will chat with you later. Since I got all of the high focus stuff done for the life audit yesterday, I want to do a bit of a tidy today. I have clothes I need to return, I have laundry to do, I have dishes to wash, and I just in general want to get the house cleaned up a little bit more. So that's the goal for today. And hopefully I'm feeling well enough to do that because my head is just aching right now. I almost forgot to mention this. So tonight we do not go out for New Year's Eve. We haven't done that in years because it's just like, I don't really care. I don't drink at all anymore. And I just don't really understand the hype. However, it is like technically Kevin and I's anniversary today, like when we had our first kiss, I guess, that we never really officially formulated like a day that we started dating or whatever, so we just chose today because it was like the first kiss, whatever. But it's been 10 years. 10 years, a whole decade with that guy, and he still is so annoying. No, I'm just kidding. No, seriously, he is annoying, but like, you know, if you are living with your partner or your spouse or your significant other and they don't annoy you at sometimes, are you even doing it right? I don't know. I don't think so. I think if they're meant to annoy you, because I know I annoy him and I just love it. It's fun. Sometimes it's like poking a very cranky sleeping bear. But yeah, so that's fun. But we aren't really doing anything for our anniversary because, again, we don't care. We don't really do big milestone things. It's just like not our vibe. But I am making some appetizers tonight, which I'm excited to show you. I wanted to do stuff that's cute, but also really easy. So I have a couple things to do. We're going to make some chicken wings, and then we're going to have a couple different appetizer things. Really like small bites. So that should be fun. And I don't think we're going to do anything else. We're probably just going to eat the little appetizers, maybe chill, go to bed at 10 o'clock like I always do, and read before I go to sleep because that's how we roll around here. But anyway, wanted to share that little tidbit. So happy New Year's Eve. Obviously, by the time you're watching this, New Year's Eve is over. So happy New Year. Hello everybody, so we're at the end of the video and I wanted to close out the video with sharing some of the things that I'm most proud of this year, like the biggest wins of 2025. If you've been following me for a while or watching the video, I mentioned that there's just a lot of big energy drainers and a lot of things that I had to work through this year with grief, getting into new systems, into a new job, dealing with a lot of burnout and just mental exhaustion. So even though I had a lot of not so great things happen in 2025, I did have a lot of wins. I had a lot of achievements. I had a lot of things that I'm really proud of. So I'm going to give you the top 3, and I wrote this down in my life audit notes. So I'm going to pull them up. But the number one thing that I am most proud of is that I finally made exercise and fitness, which I reworded into intentional movement because that sounded more positive to me. I talk about that in the 75 soft videos that I did this year. Anyway, I finally made intentional movement a habit. I wake up almost every single morning now and I move my body. So whether that's strength training with dumbbells, grow with Joe, dance workouts, going for a walk, stretching, yoga, Pilates, whatever it is, I don't put, hey, you have to do this and then you have to do this and then you have to do this. I don't put all these rules on it. The only rule I had was at least 10 minutes a day. And so some days showing up looked like doing 10 minutes. And then some days showing up looked like doing 30 minutes in the morning and then going for a walk later in the afternoon and going for a 15-minute walk. It wasn't about how hard I was showing up. It was just about that I was being intentional and doing it for the bare minimum every single day. Now, I will add that I did take big breaks, especially after my grandparents passed away. And recently, as of this morning, I started getting back into Grow with Joe and doing exercising because my sciatica had a very, very bad flare up from July to now, and I could not get rid of it. So I took a big pause and did only sciatica stretches for a whole month. I'm slowly going to start incorporating movement back into my mornings, and I'm so excited to do that because I miss it so much. My biggest goal for 2025 was hitting that. It's like a special moment that I have before, at the beginning of my day, before anything else happens, my special time to connect with myself and my body. And even in the winter when it used to be so hard for me to wake up in the morning, I'm getting up at 6 o'clock. I'm getting up at 6:30 because I have a reason to get up early now. The afternoon slumps are pretty much gone. I barely ever get those. Most surprising result of doing the intentional movement in the morning is something that I didn't even set out to do, which again, I talk about in the 75 soft challenge. Not only just the weight loss, but the fat loss and the recomposition of my body. I lost 22 pounds in the past year. I think it was like 12 total inches across my body in general, as well as dropping 1 to 2 pant size depending on the brand. For me to do such a bare minimum and see that amount of result it blows my mind. And even over the past month, with taking a break because of sciatica and being injured, the weight is still dropping off. I didn't even really change my diet at all. I've talked about this more in 75 Soft if you're interested in my like health and wellness philosophy. I am planning on going further with my fitness journey. I've been on this journey for about 6 years now, and I've talked about it on and off on my channel, but I'm really, really proud of the progress that I made this year. The next thing that I'm most proud of this year was, and I'm just going to read to you what I put down in my notes, resilience through adversity and struggle. Even if I took breaks from YouTube, LinkedIn, exercising, and or learning to deal with grief and mental health, I still came back to it and kept going. I showed up for myself over and over because I have a dream and goals. There was a lot of things at this new job that I've never experienced before, and I don't want to get into too much detail about it or get down a rabbit hole too much, but there were situations, work relationships that were difficult for me to deal with. I managed to figure out a way to navigate them And this job is a very collaborative job. So there's a lot of internal relationship building and a lot of meetings and a lot of navigating work, social climates. It's not something I've had to do before necessarily. Maybe a little bit, but I figured out a way to navigate some of the difficult things at work. And I've also just learned to give people bad news and just to be honest about it, be like, hey, this is what happened. This is a solution moving forward. Stuff like that in the past used to make me really nervous and feel uncomfortable, and it still does. The more that I lean into fears and the more that I lean into being uncomfortable, then the easier it's gonna get. If I keep getting my reps in of doing things that make me feel awkward or make me feel uncomfortable, eventually it's just gonna feel normal to me. I think that this job this past year has made me a better leader, and it has given me a lot of leadership opportunity because I've been able just to manage my own projects, take over meetings, and handle just things that need to get done. And so that was a lot of room for growth, and I had to be adaptable and resilient to get through that. And then dealing with a lot of stress from work, the grief, and just little things happening throughout my life. There was a lot of stuff going on with my family. I just still kept going. And so the fact that I was able to get out 22 YouTube videos this year while working a 9 to 5, dealing with all the stuff that I dealt with, and just trying to live my life, again, blows my mind, because when I was working before in my old 9 to 5 job, before I was laid off, I had such a hard time ever getting YouTube videos out. I was like, I don't know how I'm gonna do this. I can't do this. And now it's just like, yes, you can. You can do this. And so I just did it. And even it wasn't even YouTube this year. It was LinkedIn. I think it was 54 posts, so at least once a week, while doing all this other stuff. I found a momentum and I just kept going and I kept going. So I'm really proud of doing that and being able to focus on my dreams while dealing with all this other stuff and dealing with a full-time job. Moving on to the last thing that I'm proud of this year, I'm just gonna read it. Confidence. I feel powerful and unstoppable. I found my purpose, what I like doing, what I'm good at, became clear on my values. I started showing up as me. I did things that I was scared of. I got comfortable being uncomfortable. I stopped letting fear hold me back. I don't really think I need to say much else other than that. I think if you've been watching for a long time, or you watch this video or the last couple videos and then go back to when I was laid off, the video I did, I lost my job, now what? You can hear the difference in my voice. I was almost whispering, and now I don't whisper. I'm talking pretty loud right now, but I was whispering because I was so afraid of, like, what are my neighbors gonna think? Oh my God, is she talking to a camera? Is she a content creator? Is she an influencer? Was so scared of what other people thought. You could see it on camera when I watched my old videos. I was like, girl, you were so afraid to just be you. And now I don't feel that way at all. How I'm talking to you right now is how I talk in person. Even at work, I started showing up like that. My old job, my old team, and my old manager would say that I was a quiet one. And now my manager and my team and my current job completely disagree with that, because if I will just say whatever I want to say, and if I have an opinion or if I have a disagreement, I will just, no BS, straight up say what I think and give my thoughts and give my opinion. Of course, politely, strategically, but I'm not afraid to be seen anymore. And a lot of that is from being on YouTube while I was laid off and figuring out what I want, and then applying that to my job. Even looking back at how I felt when I was coming into my job to now, a lot of the confidence came from my job, because I was finally put into a position and in a job where I had to step up and I had to advocate for myself. I had to show the work I was doing, be responsible, manage my own projects, and be present. I was in an environment and have a manager that allows me to do that. So that really changed the way that I showed up to work and how I view work now. I'm still trying to figure out where all the confidence came from. I've been thinking about it a lot because I really want to do a video on building confidence. And every time I sit down and think about, okay, where did my confidence come from? And I'm like, how did I get here? I really don't know. And I'm still trying to figure it out. And I think hindsight is going to be really helpful for that. More to come on that. The confidence is so high. I love it. I can't believe I feel this confidence, and sometimes I hear myself saying things out loud in public to other people or presenting my philosophies on LinkedIn or here on my YouTube channel. I'm like, who do you think you are? It's a very weird spot to be in, and I still don't know how I got here. But that's the top 3. Those are the top 3 biggest things that I'm proud of. I would also like to add a caveat to this. If you notice, the things that I'm most proud of are not physical things. They're not things that I bought. They're not certificates that I earned. They're not job titles. They're not how much I made this year. They're growth things. They're things that I grew with my personality and with my emotional intelligence and my skills. Even that in itself, like not putting value on purchases or things or money or job titles or even vanity metrics like my YouTube channel or LinkedIn. Those are not the things that I'm the most proud of. The things that I'm most proud of is how far I've developed as a human being this year. And to me, looking back since I started doing this channel and started goal planning and reflecting and building the life audit year after year, and becoming very self-aware and trying to work on myself and grow and become the best version of myself in my dream life, etc., etc. I'm just so proud of the fact that those are the things that I'm proud of. So a round of applause for me and for you if you're in the same boat. That's the end of the winter reset reflection video for 2025. It is now 2026. Can't believe that we're here. Where did the past year go? I'm really looking forward to finishing my life audit because that goes on through February, and I'll be taking you along in the other videos I have upcoming. But I hope you had a good New Year and holiday season. And I want to know in the comment section below, what's the thing that you're most proud of achieving in 2025? Let me know, because I love hearing about everybody else's progress, what they're working on, what they're doing for 2026 as far as goal setting and thinking about what they want to look forward to in this upcoming year. So let me know below. Thank you so much for watching. I am so happy to have you here on my corner of the internet, and I will connect with you in the next video.